Hey there, Darren Garman here, trusted multifamily investment advisor for CEOs, executives, and founders, now well over 30 years. And the question I get a lot is, why should I be thinking of owning multifamily real estate? So let me give you the 5 main reasons why you want to be owning multifamily real estate. And this comes from well over 30 plus years of having CEOs, executives, and entrepreneurs as investment partners and advising them on many multifamily ownership and investment transactions. So let's start with reason number 1, and that is it can be done passively. You don't have to know landlord-tenant law. You don't have to know about property management. You don't have to know about bookkeeping. You don't have to know about asset management, etc. So being able to, on one hand, do what you do best, being a CEO of a company, C-suite executive, while on the other hand, having that 200, 300, 400 unit apartment community continue to operate and run minute after minute, hour, day after day, year after year. That's one of the main reasons as an executive, you want to be thinking about owning multifamily real estate because you're able to do it passively. And that's a biggie. Okay, let's go ahead and let's go to number 2, reason number 2. And it's related to reason number 1, and this isn't a mystery, passive income. As a CEO, founder, executive, you've got another source of passive income coming into you, either monthly or usually quarterly. You've got a nice income stream coming in. Again, while you're busy doing what you do best, you've got a nice income stream coming in, again, passively. Okay, and then there's the third reason, and this is a biggie. The third one is leverage, and what I call positive leverage. You see, what multifamily is able to do for you is you're able to borrow usually up to 75, maybe even up to 80% of the purchase price on a multifamily acquisition. Now, of course, you want to do it strategically. You don't want to be foolish in terms of borrowing too much or borrowing at too high of an interest rate or not having good loan terms, et cetera. Of course, all that's involved in this. But with positive leverage, what happens many times is you get into those high single digits and into those double-digit return areas as a result of that. And why is that? Because you're borrowing up to 75, in some cases 80% of the purchase price to own $1 million, $10 million, maybe even $30 or $40 million asset. Now, if that's done right, that positive leverage positively impacts the return that you're going to get. So it's not uncommon for my partners to be having high single digit, low double digit, what's called cash on cash returns. And so they invest $100,000 in a apartment community, for example. Maybe that next year they have $10,000, $12,000 of income coming back to them annually. That's about a 10%, 12% cash on cash return. Now, of course, that's not the case with every single property, but it is the case a lot of the time. Okay, so those are 3 reasons. Let me get into reason number 4. Now, reason number 4 might surprise you a little bit, but I want you to give this some thought. I want you to chew on this a little bit because it's a big deal for many CEOs, executives, founders, and entrepreneurs. And number 4 is security and safety. I want you to think about the day and time that we're in right now, especially when it comes to cybercrime. You can't really go much, really anywhere today without the risk of somebody being able to find your money and get their hands on it. Well, here's the news about, let's say, a 100-unit apartment community. You can't break into a 100-unit apartment community. You can't steal money. Why? Because it's a hard asset. And with that hard asset comes a huge degree of safety. My investors know when they invest in an apartment community, there's no risk of someone breaking in online, getting into their accounts, finding out confidential information about them. That's not going to happen. Some of my executives are high-profile guys. And so when you're a high-profile person, you especially don't want your information out there. All right, so let's get to reason number 5. It has to do with that T word, taxes. Let me break the news to you on why multifamily real estate is just literally a gold mine when it comes to tax savings, because you really have two tax savings buckets when it comes to multifamily real estate. Bucket number one has to do with depreciation and interest deductions. When you own a multifamily apartment community, you're able to collect the income, and then you're able to deduct the expenses of operations, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, repair, etc. So none of that is probably new to you or new news to you. But what the government allows you to also do is make two additional deductions as part of the normal daily operations of the property. Deduction number one is interest deductions. So the interest that you're paying on your loan is tax deductible. Just like on your own home, when you buy your own home or condo, your interest in most cases is deductible. That is the same case when it comes to owning multifamily real estate. So now we get to add another expense, okay, to our list of expenses. Okay, terrific. Now, the big expense we get to add, though, the big one is depreciation. So as I'm recording this and sharing this with you, multifamily real estate is able to be depreciated year after year for up to 28 years. And that's just the building. The equipment in the building, things like water heaters, things like appliances, things like light fixtures, those can be depreciated on a really short schedule, like 3, 5, 7 years. So when you depreciate those fixtures, when you depreciate those buildings, and you add those as an expense item on top of your interest deductions, on top of all of those other expenses, what ends up happening many times is you'll have a nice positive cash flow coming in annually. Remember, I talked about some of those cash on cash returns. You have that nice cash flow coming in annually, but you are able to show a loss, a legal loss on your tax return, and that income that you've gained in many cases is sheltered legally year after year after year. Now, that doesn't happen throughout the whole entire 30 years of owning the property, because as you know, every year you write off a little bit less interest, etc. But for the first 3, 5, maybe even up to 10 years, you're showing a legal loss on your tax return, even though you're collecting, in most cases, a nice income. Okay, so that's tax bucket number one. But I'd say there's two buckets. Remember, I said that. Bucket number two is the magic 3 words when it comes to owning multifamily. And those magic 3 words are tax deferred exchange. Multifamily real estate is one of the few investments that you are legally allowed to sell, cash out of it, take those proceeds, and reinvest in another real estate property, all done tax deferred. So think about this. If I owned a whole bunch of, let's say, a Fortune 500 stock, and I decided to cash out today, I'd have to pay capital gains taxes. Okay. If I owned a business and I owned it for many, many years and I decided to cash out of it, I'd have to pay taxes on the sale of that business. But when it comes to multifamily real estate, I don't have to pay zero. I pay zero taxes if I take those proceeds and I reinvest them in another investment real estate property. There is no other investment out there that allows you to do this. All right, now I told you that there were 5 main reasons CEOs, executives, founders, and busy business owners own multifamily real estate. I'm going to give you the bonus 6th reason. I got a bonus reason for you. And the bonus reason number 6 is this. You're able to invest your IRA and 401k in the apartment community. Guys, this is not complicated at all. We've helped hundreds and hundreds of executives and business owners use their IRAs, use their 401ks to own multifamily real estate. And the benefits are obvious when you do that. When you invest your IRA in a multifamily apartment community, all of that income coming into your IRA tax-free, right? When you sell that property all of those gains are going into your IRA. What? Tax-free. Of course, that's until you decide to go through the withdrawal process through your IRA, etc. But guys, being able to use not only your regular money, but use IRA or 401k money in order to invest in and purchase an apartment community and have all of that happen and being taken care of tax-free, pretty powerful stuff. Okay, so again, let's go ahead, let's come full circle. Let me recap, having dealt with hundreds and hundreds of CEOs, executives, founders, business owners over the last 30 plus years, and basically being their go-to guy for all things multifamily. Let me give you those 5 and the bonus 6th reason C-suite executives, business owners, and founders should own and invest in multifamily real estate. Number 1, you can do it passively. You don't have to be an expert in knowing the laws. You don't need to be an expert in property management. Number 2, passive income. Passive income. Okay. Number 3, positive leverage. The ability to use 25% of the purchase price to purchase 100% of the property dramatically impacts rate of return. And then I hit reason number 4, which I think probably surprised you a little bit. Security and safety. Remember, you can't break into that 100-unit apartment property with your computer. You can't do it. Okay, not possible because it's one of those rare hard assets that give you that sense of safety and security. Number 5, tax savings. Remember, I talked about those 2 buckets. Okay, that annual income with depreciation and interest bucket that you're able to use, and then selling that property tax deferred, which is huge, and multifamily properties being one of the very few investments where you're able to do that. And then I gave you the bonus reason number 6, which is the ability to use your IRA and 401k when it comes to owning and investing multifamily real estate. Okay, guys, make sure you dial in on these 5 and that bonus 6th reason, and don't delay in investing in multifamily real estate. It provides these kinds of benefits for even the busiest executives, CEOs, business owners, and founders. Check into it today. If you want more information on how that process works, all my contact information is here. Simply check it out. Check out those resources and help yourself.